Frankly, I have to admit, I am shocked it took us 12 episodes before I made a major technical faux pas. I recorded not one, but 2 episodes of this series, ending our season, taking us through the final 8 matches of the year with no audio. So we're going to start things off while I talk to you on our profile screen. Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 13 of The American Dream. This was supposed to be episode number 15, but hey, stuff happens. As you can see, we did successfully complete our National B license, and we are studying for the National A. That is the good news, and we did make it through the season as the manager of Vancouver FC. Sorry for the spoilers. How did we get there? Well, better to show you. So after a quiet first half, a handball call leads to Fry potting home the penalty to give us a 1-0 lead. Then Johnston, Fry dropping it back for Paris G, pushing it forward, shooting it from range, and blasting one home for a 2-0 lead, which would last until the end. So with our first of 8 games gone, we picked up a very, very much needed 3 points, which brought us back home against Calvary FC, and it was a hard-fought battle. But after 82 minutes, a rebound came straight onto the foot of Tyler Pasher, picking up his first goal of the year in his return from his injury. Back-to-back clean sheets and our first back-to-back victories of the season. So we tried to make it 3 in a row as we headed across the country to Ontario to take on York United, and sadly, Chaumet put one past Marks to end our clean sheet record and put them up 1-0. A handball penalty led to a Farsi penalty kick. It was good, 1-1, but Dos Santos had his shot blocked, got it back, played it in the middle to Ferrari, potting home his first goal of the year, and he would pick up another as our Aparicio fed it into Chaumet, who left it wide for Ferrari. Clear shot gets it past Marks to give York United a 3-1 victory, which meant a trip to Valor FC, hoping to return to our winning ways. Bunbury getting the ball. He was offside. He fed Jensen, who blasted home a shot past Marks to put them up 1-0, and that was all that they needed. Francis Atuahene had a shot at a penalty in the 76th minute, but could not convert, which made 2 in a row. So we won 2, then we lost 2, leaving just 4 matches for us to get our season back on track. And we thought that the good vibes of a home BC derby would do it, but in the rain at Willoughby Community Park, Stefanovic moved it to his left foot, blasted it past Marks inside the far post to give Pacific a 1-0 lead. They would add onto it in the second half, 58th minute. Great long ball ahead. Omar Regby putting home his first goal of the year past Marks. And sadly, Pacific would add a third. Toussaint up the left wing, found Nonko, headed on by Zanetta for his first goal of the year, and a 3-0 final in favor of Pacific FC with only 3 matches left to go. Hosting Halifax Wanderers, both teams had trouble finding the back of the net, but it was Halifax that broke through. An absolute worldie by Rampersad off of the crossbar and in with just 3 minutes left in regulation would mean Vancouver FC goes down and surrenders a clean sheet for the 3rd consecutive match in a row. We've now lost 4 on the bounce, and we need to do something different. So at this point, the fans were starting to make grumblings about how we were inflexible and unwilling to change things. So we went back to a system that we tried and then quickly abandoned because I felt like we gave up too many goals. We did score with it, so we thought we'd give the 5-2-3 one more go. And luckily, we got our wish. On the road in Ottawa, ball in the middle, deflected off of the goalkeeper. Mohamedou Kane puts the header home in the 28th minute to give Vancouver a 1-0 lead. He'd pick up his second just 2 minutes later as Farsi carried it up, squared it to Mohamedou Kane past Ingham to make it 2-0. And then in the second half, the scoring continued. Paris G up the sideline, Pasher into the middle, deflecting off of the foot of the defenseman into the path of Isaiah Johnston. 3-0 your score. And finally, after 4 winless matches, we got off the schneid with a much-needed 3 points. However, our final home match of the season against Forge FC would just be consolation. We entered the match 5 points down. Simmons with a drive from just outside the D, off of the crossbar and in, made it 1-0 Vancouver. Paris G getting it to Galvis, over for Johnston, found Kane, who turned, fired, and scored. 2-0 Vancouver in the 58th minute. We thought we would get away with a third clean sheet for Marks. However, Forge FC answered back, throwing it into the middle, ricocheting off of Rocco Romeo into the net, but 2-1 would be the final score. Vancouver would hold on, coming up just that little bit short, winning 4 of our last 8. It still ended up not being enough. We finished in 8th place on 25 points, just 2 shy of coming in 7th. So any one of those tight games going the other way would have seen us finish off of the bottom. Now, you may notice things look a little weird. The top 5 teams qualify for the playoffs, but you'll see Valor FC and Pacific FC did not qualify. My guess is that they did not play a minimum of 2,000 minutes of U21 players, those little cheaters. It just goes to show that you need to follow the rules. So Forge would have gotten in anyway in 5th, but Calvary FC and Atletico Ottawa ended up making the playoffs. Which brings us to the issue of our job. We did not get fired immediately. However, right after the season ended, we got called into the boardroom, and we now have a target for next year. So this next season at Vancouver could be a short one. We had to promise that we were going to get 8 points in the first 5 matches of the season. I think it's possible if we stick with the system, the 5-2-3, which we are now training as our primary tactic, and we are now looking to build our team to fit that tactic. We're making tough decisions, and that's all coming up in just a second when we review our summer as we get ready to start the new year. So we need 2 wins, 2 draws, or 3 wins in order to keep our job in Canada. The preseason is about to begin, and we're about 3 weeks away from the opening of the winter transfer window. Now, the season, as you remember, doesn't start until the middle of April, so we have a very long preseason with which to evaluate our team. However, we have allowed contracts to expire on 6 of our players. David Norman came back from his loan spell from Club Franciscan, just did not play nearly as well as he did in the Caribbean. 6.74 average rating in his time as a central defender for us. We did slot him in immediately into our starting lineup, but I think that there are improvements that we can make to the position. The 27-year-old just did not fit in our plans. We also said goodbye to left wing back Anthony White. The 22-year-old just did not get any playing time. He was way down on our depth chart behind Caden Chung, Paris G, and eventually Mo Farsi as well. So his wages off the books. Speaking of wages off the books, 850 euros a week we were paying to Francis Atuahene. The penalty he missed, which cost us a draw and, frankly, the chance to come off of the bottom of the table, well, that was the straw that broke my back. The 29-year-old Ghanaian-American dual national has hit the door. Another player that just really didn't fit in our plans anymore was 29-year-old Abdi Mohammed. A decent player at 5'11", though. He was a bit more diminutive than we wanted on the outside, and again, he fell behind Caden Chung and Mo Farsi on our depth chart. We wish him all the best in his new endeavors. We also partnered with a couple of forwards, 29-year-old Michael Cantave. He was really only getting playing time on the left-hand side. His left foot, though, really not strong enough for what we wanted to do. While he was a versatile player, he was a bit more expensive than we were looking to pay moving forward. And we felt similarly about 28-year-old Nicholas Galvis. He did come in and do a job for us, but again, I think the players that we are hoping to have come in are just going to be enough of an upgrade where we can get over that hump for next year. couple of other players have left the club after agreeing to terms with new teams. Ibrahim Bakare, another center back that we have said goodbye to. He's actually on his way to England. He got signed by Lincoln. He's going to be making 1,400 euros a week, which is a lot more than we could have afforded, so we wish him the best. And finally, a player who was going to be out of contract anyway, we managed to pull off a minor transaction just to get him out the door a little bit quicker. Jean-Louis Nomo, again, way down on our depth chart behind Simmons Johnston and then James Giffard, who we ended up bringing not only on loan, but a permanent transfer. We'll talk about him in just a little bit. He is off to Fovu Club. Speaking of the start of the season, we start on the road. It's a BC derby against Pacific FC. Then we return home a couple of days later against Halifax Wanderers, York, Atletico Ottawa, and Cavalry. So the two teams that were immediately ahead of us round out our first 5 fixtures. The other derbies against Pacific come on May 17th, June 17th, August 23rd, and we're going to finish off the season the same way we finished it off this year as we take on Forge FC at Willoughby Community Park. Well, it's the 31st of January and the transfer window has just opened. Now, we did a decent chunk of business before the window was open. There are some players that we are expecting to move on that have not left yet because none of the other teams were interested in putting bids on our players while the window was closed. First one in is 26-year-old Canadian-American dual national. He's capped 3 times at the U20 level. It's Noah Verhoeven. We got him from Atletico Ottawa. So anything that we can do to possibly, diminish one of our closest rivals or at least closest competitors. He's a decent Canadian League player according to our staff. He could be a leading player in the league. He's very versatile, can play basically anywhere up front. Not really a striker per se, but he can play any of the midfield positions that we're going to be running in our tactic. Very good passing. His vision is decent. Not a ton of pace, but he's just a generally overall, all-around decent player. Also coming in is 24-year-old American Ryan Beecher. We got him from St. Louis City. Decent finishing and first touch. His anticipation is fantastic for the league. Not so great off of the ball. We have to work on that, but at 6'3", he could really do a job either in the attacking midfield or as a backup to our striking duo. But the centerpiece of what we have done so far is bringing in 26-year-old Belgian-Canadian dual international Zorhan Bassong. 5'10". He's got a decent amount of pace on him. His passing is really good. He's also defensively sound. He's got speed. He's consistent. He's got a long throw ability, which is something that we are currently lacking. And he's very versatile. We could even put him in the middle if we really wanted to, but why would he? While Paris G did a very nice job as our left wing back, I felt we needed a little bit more depth in the position, someone who could handle themselves a little bit better in the air than, say, a Caden Chung, who, by the way, is most likely going to be leaving the team. Chung is in the final year of his contract. He got a little unhappy because we hadn't tendered him a new one. He wanted to pursue other options. I mean, he doesn't love the big matches. We all know he lacks heading ability, which is huge for us and our defense. So while overall rated a very nice player, we have put him out on the market. We're just waiting for those offers to roll in. And yep, it is official. Caden Chung off to York United for 140,000 euros. Oh my, things just got really exciting and weird. We haven't hit the regular season yet. We're still about a week away from our opening match. But because we had such a successful preseason, the board are delighted to inform us that we kept the promise we made and secured enough points, in theory, to satisfy them. So as a result of the improvements we have made to the team and as a manager, the board have canceled any plans of relieving Billy Flynn of his duties. Which gives me the opportunity to tell you about some of the other players that have joined us for the beginning of this season. I neglected to mention before that we did make a selection in the draft back in November, and that was for 5'9", 24-year-old midfielder Elon Hanusi. We weren't 100% sure who we were going to find in the market, so he is definitely a depth option for us. We probably could have done a little better, especially on like the offensive end. We're only paying 275 euros a week. We'll see how he does as we rotate him in and use him as just kind of an extra body moving forward. But Hanusi is part of our team. We've also managed to bring in a pair of youngsters. This one is very exciting. 18-year-old Canadian U20 international Alan Didier. The odds makers have him as the favorite running away for the top goal scorer of the year, and he's also one of the favorites for top young player of the year. He's 18, a little bit more diminutive than I was hoping for, but his finishing ability is absolutely fantastic, and he's good on the ball. Great acceleration in that advanced forward position. He's got some room to grow as well, and at 190 euros per week on a free from Montreal's academy, couldn't beat it. And one more addition. This one was not free. We paid $135,000 to York United for the services of 21-year-old Canadian Eritrean dual U20 international center back Noah Abatna. Stands at 6'2". He's got some speed on him. His aerial ability is fantastic. Also pretty good at heading the ball. His marking ability, really good. Needs a little work on positioning, but he is training that right now. His tackling ability probably could be a little better, but it's that aerial threat we were looking for. I think he is going to be a very welcome addition here for years to come. We did need to move one more player to make room for everyone we brought in, and that was Vasco Fry. He was entering the final year of his contract. He was not happy to be here. We looked at his numbers from last year and his performance and realized that he really wasn't going to make the grade. Atletico Ottawa was interested in him from the jump before the transfer window opened, but they wouldn't put a bid. Once it did, they realized they just didn't have enough cash to be able to afford him on a permanent move. So we've loaned him out for the year. They're paying 100% of his €475 a week wage. So hopefully he will enjoy his time in the nation's capital. So as we stand on the precipice of a new season, our third in our quest for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, our second at Vancouver FC, we come to my favorite screen. It is the squad dynamics page. There are currently no player issues within the team. Our team cohesion is good. Our club atmosphere is very good and getting better. And look at our managerial support. 1 year ago, that was abysmal all the way down here. But now we are in the green. Everything is good and we are ready for a fantastic new season. And this is the squad we are rolling out for our opening match away at Pacific FC. It's a BC derby to get the season going. It's going to be George Marks in goal, a back three of James Gefrad, Noah Abatna, and Rocco Romeo. Zorhan Bassong making his debut as our left wing back. On the right side is going to be Mo Farsi. In the midfield, Elliot Simmons will be paired with Isaiah Johnston. It will be Noah Verhoeven getting the start ahead of them in the playmaker role, with Tyler Pasher and Alan Didier as our strikers. As we talked about last episode, we are rolling out with the same tactical formation that allowed us to win 2 straight matches to finish off the season. It wasn't enough to keep us off at the bottom of the table. Let's see how it does this year. And it's Pacific in control before Johnston picks off the errant pass. Ahead for Pasher along the far sideline. He'll play it up for Bassong, moving it to the interior. Verhoeven with it. Has 3 men around him, but he's able to find Farsi along the near side. Farsi in the middle. Pasher gets his foot on it. He tucks it in inside the far post. And 2.5 minutes into the new season, it's Pacific 0, Vancouver FC 1. Tyler Pasher picking up his first goal of the year. The play made, though, by Verhoeven, getting it wide to Farsi in space, throws it across, gets it through the defense. Pasher sticking out his right foot, redirecting it past Torres for the early 1-0 lead. This is exactly what we needed, because even though we have fulfilled the promise and we are no longer beholden to getting 8 points in the first 5 matches, we still really want to have at least 8 points through our first 5 matches. Verhoeven tries to challenge Bassett, but Bassett holds on. Hurd in dome. Up for Bassett. Verhoeven, though, picks his pocket. Didier drops it for Johnson. Up for Farsi. Moving up the right wing. Farsi, the defensive line retreating into the middle. Pasher delivers, and he's going to rocket that over the bar. Looks like it was helped over by Torres, and it will be a corner kick for Vancouver FC. We've played nearly 27 minutes. Pasher looking to deliver the in-swinger. It's a little bit short, so it's headed away. Verhoeven, though, will track it down. We're showing great tenacity. Pasher back with it around the edge of the box. Hurd's going to get his foot in there and knock it clear. Giffard will track that down, however, and hopefully no major threat from Pacific FC. In fact, it took over 30 minutes for them to get their first shot on goal. And even though it was on target, it was not a very good one, only generating 0.01 in XG. About 5 minutes left in the half. Didier will drop it down off of the long kick from Marks. Farsi in control, back for Romeo. He's challenged, so Abatna will lay it back for Simmons. And Abatna once again, as we look to hold on to possession, keep control of the ball as much as we possibly can, and look for some inroads with this 5-2-3 that has been, so far, very successful for us. Played up toward Pasher. It will be headed down by Pacific FC, and Hurd looking to go back the other way before running into traffic and dropping it for Tainter. Young for Hurd. Finds Mayan for Indom, throwing it toward Bassett. Farsi gets his head on it, but Salouf will gather the clearance. Salouf up the near sideline into the corner, challenged by Farsi, finds Bassett. Bassett gets around one man, sticks it past Marks for his first goal of the year, and Pacific FC able to equalize in the 41st minute. Unfortunately, Rocco Romeo caught a little bit flat-footed, but a highlight right off of the kickoff. Pasher controls it back to Abatna. Simmons in some trouble, so Abatna throws it long. Didier will drop it down. Hurd in control. Johnston, though, will get it back, but they'll play it straight at Indom. Pacific FC once again in control. Stefanovic. Pishotti along the near side will leave it for Salouf. Dropping back, throwing it across. Pasher intercepts, throws it to Didier. Didier leaves it for Farsi. Circles it back. Romeo will go around the back. Abatna. It's got Didier behind the defense. Dropped for Farsi. Back once again for Romeo, looking for an inlet. 4 guys in the box just waiting. Simmons over the top. Didier and Torres caught wrong-footed. First goal of the year for Alan Didier, except the flag was up and the goal has been disallowed. So a chance laid on to go up 2-1. And here's another. Verhoeven in, and Giffard getting his head on it, but knocking it over the crossbar. 3 shots on goal for Pacific FC. They have scored once. We have scored once in 10, although we managed to get 8 of those 10 shots on target, and we've enjoyed 53% of the possession. So far, so good, and I am a happy manager, although I would like to come away from this match with a victory. And a final third throw-in could be how it happens. Just 3 minutes into the half. Bassong, Johnston into the box. Verhoeven turns, fires, and scores. First goal of the year for Noah Verhoeven, the new signee from over the summer. A goal on his regular season debut, and these throw-ins can just be deadly. Johnson, quick pass into the box. Verhoeven touched it over to his right foot, turned to face the goal, beat Torres to his left, and it's Pacific FC 1, Vancouver FC 2. Vancouver scoring on our first shot of the second half, and now we're looking for more. Bassong on the set piece, sending it in, headed far post. James Giffard is there. His first goal of the year, and it is his aerial prowess that we were looking towards when we first brought him in, not only on loan last year, but on a permanent basis. If you remember when he played against us, he scored not 1, but 2 corner kick goals against us with that mighty head of his. Didier drops it for Pasher. Once again, Vancouver on the attack. Johnston back for Romeo up the sideline. Farsi. He feeds Didier behind the defense. Didier into the box. Plays it in the middle. Johnston looking to his left. He's got Bassong. Bassong moves past one man. He's got another into the middle, and Tyler Pasher sticks his right foot out once again. Picks up his second goal of the night. He's got a brace. It's Pacific 1, Vancouver 4, and this is the start to the season that we all dreamed of. Doing a great job of moving the ball around. We're better dribblers now. Pasher picking up the deflection off of the goalkeeper as Bassong played it across. The goalkeeper got in the way, but Torres couldn't hold on to it. Came right in the path of Tyler Pasher for his second goal of the year. Now, Alan Didier on a 6.4 rating. I think he's a little hard done by that. A lot of that is because there was a goal called back. But we are going to need to make some changes as we do have some tired legs. Ryan Beecher is going to come in. Noah Verhoeven is going to slot back into the center of the midfield as Isaiah Johnston comes off. Didier is going to make way for Mohamedou Kane, who will see his first action of the season. 2 changes being made with just over 15 minutes remaining in this contest. But Vancouver has been in control since the second half whistle blew. We came out of the locker room tied at 1. We're looking to go into the locker room at full time with a 4-1 victory. And looking at the live table, assuming there are no shenanigans in the 4 minutes added on, we are not only going to go in with a 4-1 victory, we are going in at the top of the table. Now, I know there are 27 games left, but it's a great sight to see after the first one. Got to rest up. We've got a couple of days before we come back for the next episode for our preliminary round matchup against Calgary FC for the second consecutive year in the Canadian Championship. If you liked that, let me know how you feel about the team. Put a comment below. Also, make sure you like the video, show your appreciation. If you have not already subscribed to the channel and turned on your notifications, please do so. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed in the last couple of weeks since this series started. Let's keep the ball rolling. Get this video out in front of as many people as possible. Appease the algorithm gods. Thank you and please. I will see you later. Until next time, bye-bye.